Algures em Las Vegas, num local secreto que alberga a coleção privada de David Copperfield, hoje para falarmos de Harry Jansen.
Also known as Dante the Magician, the successor of Thurston. It was at a time where they'd pass the mantle from Keller to Thurston, Thurston to Dante. They'd sell the show, the props, all of the items. Dante was pretty cool. You can see him in movies like A Haunting We Will Go with Laurel and Hardy, and he had a great kind of personality and great presence about him. Kind of a shorter guy, would stand in a box in the front of the stage and do The Lazy Magician, which you recreated.
I did it with Moyo Miller, the most beautiful woman from Australia.
And she was, in her 80s and 90s, quite beautiful too. So you got to, have her assist you, which is pretty awesome. I'm a little jealous, I gotta be honest. She came here and saw some of the display that we have, and saw the spirit cabinet, something I put into my show in a version of my own, but the classic version of it is represented here. A spectator would go into the cabinet, tambourines would rattle and bells would ring and clothes would change on the guy, and they'd be fearful moments, but that's the spirit cabinet that inspired something we did ourselves. Dante's version of the Sawing in Half. There's Moyo Miller over there, ready to perform. There's her shoes inside the box. And amazing, these are the actual pieces of wood that they'd use to saw through, so you have actual sawing effect. So that would be put in there, so the extra pieces of wood for the various different shows. But an amazing illusion, very famous classic piece. We also have the barrel, which is an inexhaustible barrel, which is a little barrel you'd show empty, and you'd pour drinks for the audience and yourself in this barrel. And Moyo came here, she was in her late 80s or early 90s, and she says, "That's me in that picture, and I've got that dress at home." And she sent us the dress that's in that picture, so she was wonderful. Dante was that kind of mysterious guy like that. He wasn't always like that. He was dressing in wacky costumes as part of his act. He was cool, he had a good personality, and had innovative things like The Lazy Magician, or he did a version of The Sawing in Half. Not his invention, but I think the presentation was very much a part of him. As you know, there are people who innovate in magic and do really unique things, and people who are great interpreters of those songs, and are great magicians because they present things in a unique way. And I think Dante is really part of that world.
And this was Dante, the magician.
And as Dante would say, Sim Salabim.